Good morning, actually, good afternoon. Welcome to another Demystify the Divine weekly readings and tools to connect. I am Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive. So excited to have you on the show today. What is going on? How has everyone been doing with this interesting full moon energy that we were in? We've got sort of the full moon with the Cancer and the Capricorn blending. There's a lot of stuff going on with structures. There's a lot of stuff going on with our emotions. I'm interested in how your ocean of emotion has been this week. I know for me, it has been a very, very interesting week and a half, actually, but definitely this past week. Lots of unexpected things cropping up and really being in this space of, okay, how do I choose to respond to this? I can choose to get all worked up. I can choose to, turn myself into a pretzel or get all bent out of shape over it. Or I can choose to simply say, okay, here we go. So that's kind of been my experience this week. I don't know how things have been with you guys. So normally we have Keone coming on and joining us today. He is doing some technical stuff and working some things out. And so we have the fabulous Kareem today, who is, I'm saying his name wrong, Hakeem today. I apologize. It's like, in my mind, I'm like, it's not Kareem, it's Hakeem. So make sure you don't say Kareem. So then, of course, that's what I say, right? A good lesson in manifestation, what we put our focus on is what we manifest. So very nice to have you here, Hakeem. Thank you so much for producing the show and adding your energy to where we're at today. So I am going to tune in and we're going to talk about our word of the week or our phrase of the week, depending on what our dream teams want to bring us into. So I'm going to close my eyes, go into my happy place and see what comes up. Happiness is the key. Happiness is the key. So the first thing I'm getting tapping into that energy is that this week is going to be bringing a lot more of that up and down energy that I was just talking about. There's going to be on an individual level. So this is in our individual lives, not, yes, it's in the global, it's in the collective. It has been for quite some time. But in our individual lives, I feel very much that we are going to be feeling into everything. And the guidance that's coming through, the phrase of the week, happiness is the key, I feel is a message from our guides saying, no matter what comes up, choose the happy, choose the happiness. That's the key to getting through the week and rising above what is transpiring. I want to say to you, I feel like matters of the heart are going to be prevalent. So issues where you really have some feels about it, issues where you are concerned about somebody, issues where you have this connection and this bond with someone, and now suddenly there are things that are coming up that are a little bit uncomfortable about it, or needing to give some space, or miscommunication coming up. It's heart of the matter stuff. It's matters of the heart. This is not to say that there's going to be a lot of, I want to say, craziness and chaos. I don't feel that. I feel more of a tenderness. So this is not, okay, we're breaking up. This is more of we've had a major misunderstanding, and my feelings are tender and your feelings are tender, and we need to kind of go off into our own corners and give some space before we can sort of come back into the mix and address what's going on. And I want to say to you, when you're in those situations in any kind of relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or a co-workership, you want to always be in the space of understanding that I know who this person is, and this person is not out to hurt me. This person is not out to harm me. So whatever the misunderstanding is, it's not because there's intention behind it. And if you do find that you're in a situation where someone did intend harm, you want to address that as well. But address it understanding that, okay, what has changed? Why do you feel the need to Why did you feel the need to lash out at me like that? What's going on under the surface? What is it that you haven't spoken to me about? What is it that we haven't talked about? Because this is not typical behavior for you. This is not normally how things are going to go down. So happiness is the key. And I feel like it's understanding that when we are kind of dealing with matters of the heart, in order to find the resolve, in order to step in and be able to make it work and to move through it and get to the other side of it, where you both feel honored, you both have integrity about the situation, and you both understand that there's a better way to communicate, or that's not the way we wanted it to go, or we never have to go through that again. Thank goodness we were able to work through it together. We have a mutual desire to connect again. I feel that is the happiness. That's what you're choosing. So choosing that happiness, making that the key, that's going to help each of us get through these, I want to say, uncomfortable situations that are going to crop up in our world. And so again, tenderness, it's feeling tender, feeling tender-hearted, feeling like, ooh, someone just kind of poked me in a place that's uncomfortable. So not major endings, just ooh, that didn't feel good, and that's something that we need to work through. And I want to say, you want to really kind of be in that space of giving the benefit of the doubt. Be the bigger person, or be the person that opens yourself to that awareness of there's something else going on here. So I don't have to hold on to the hurt. I can instead say, where do we need to go from here? The hurt is a symptom of something else. So let's move through that so that we can rise above this and come together in a stronger, more bonded way. That's going to bring about happiness. Happiness is the key. Interesting. Okay, so for our time to pull some cards, the card pull, we're going to pull from the oh my God, I'm all over the map now. Woo! Yes, it's time for card pulling. The Wizard's Tarot. Thank you, by Barbara Moore. Akeem's on it. I'm in the clouds, so it's going to be a good reading, folks, because it means I'm all. So let's see what the energy is. And the card just flipped out. See what the energy is for this week and the accompanying message for that happiness is key. Page of Wands. So Wands energy, fire, spirit, passion. It's our soul energy. It also, I should start calling it the spirit soul space, because that's really what it is. It is reflective of the spirit. It's also reflective of the soul, of our purpose, what drives us, what motivates us. And Page is that student energy. Page is okay, I just hit the ace. I had this amazing idea. It's an inspired idea. It's got me fired up. Now I need to do some research and make a plan to see how I'm going to enact it. So when we're talking about this energy in relation to the week that we're having, I feel like it's important to say that already this week's energy is, like I said, tender. We're tender. The emotions are a bit choppy. The emotions are like a flame. And so you want to make sure that you're not letting that flame get out of hand. So pay attention to what you are putting your focus to. Pay attention to what you're adding your fuel to, because what we add our fuel to makes more, right? If you're adding, more fuel to the fire that you don't want the fire to get bigger, to get any bigger, to get out of control, you want to contain that fire so that you can actually put it into practice or bring a streamlined focus to it or make it actually happen. You need to pay attention to how much energy you're connecting to it, how much energy and emotion you're attaching to it. And I feel like that's an important thing that's just come out of my mouth is, what are you attaching yourself to this week? If happiness is the key, what emotional attachments maybe need review? Maybe you need to take a look at that and say, what were to happen if I were to just detach myself from this emotionally and observe, be the observer in the situation? What would I notice? It doesn't mean you don't have feelings about it. It doesn't mean you can't have feelings about it. It's simply giving you the opportunity to see it from a different perspective before you decide to add fuel to the fire. If we are in that student energy, if we are looking at, okay, this is the week to make a plan, that's important. When I'm making a plan, I'm not necessarily going hog wild and in, putting all of my energy and attention to it. I'm formulating the plan and saving up some of that energy so that when I do have a good solid working plan and it's approved and I'm committed to it, then I can add the fuel to the fire, because then I'm going to need more of the energy to make it so. So I feel like this week you really want to be paying attention to what you are attaching your emotions to. And perhaps that attachment isn't necessary. Perhaps that attachment isn't helpful at this stage of the plan. I'm also feeling like career is coming up. So career situation, career energy. I'm feeling this week like there's going to be a lot of upheaval around awareness of what is working and what isn't working in terms of career. This can be on a personal level where you're recognizing, yeah, this career that I'm in sucks and I can't do it anymore. Or you're recognizing, oh, I love this and I want to do more of this. How can I do more of this in my day-to-day job? Do I need to talk to my boss about getting on a different project? Do I need to simply just do more of that in my business? Do I need to consider making a shift in the clients I serve, or the products that I'm offering, or the services that I am offering? So I feel like there's a lot of evaluation here, but it's not evaluation without action. It's more that it's a toned back action. I'm going to say it's 30% of your energy rather than 150. Go big or go home. So you want to be paying attention to that as well. For those of you who are in, and I feel like this is specifically in the workforce. So the stay-at-home parents that are out there, I feel like the message is really more about what are you planning for yourself, paying attention to the plan. For those that are like in corporate especially is where I feel this is happening. There's going to be a lot of energy coming up around what do I really want to be putting my focus to? Is it working? Is what I'm putting my focus to working? Yes, the word tweak comes up, that I can tweak the process. But again, I feel like this is the plan. So we're planning things out. We are ascertaining whether the next steps are going to work or whether we should go a different route. So it's trying different things on paper to see how you can configure it to get the ultimate goal, which is, again, that passion, that fire, that purpose, feeling like, yes, I'm doing this for a reason and I'm really excited about it. And our oracle deck for this week, and I felt very much like we needed to bring in the animals. We need a little animal love and a little animal guidance today. So this is The Secret Language of Animals from Chip Richards. This is really cool. It's an Aussie deck. It's from Australia. The author is Australian. So some of the animals in here we don't actually have here in North America. And I always find that fascinating to learn about different animals. It's kind of like traveling without having to get on a plane when I look at this deck. So let's see what we got. Oh, eagle, which we definitely have a lot of those. It is our national bird. Vision, freedom, authority, and inspiration. And what I'm feeling with this particular card is I'm noticing right off the bat, it's a 20. So number 2, numerologically, this week, we are being supported in the energy of partnership, pairing, union, teamwork, the blending of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us, understanding the importance of duality in our life and being able to envision how that duality can actually help us rather than hinder us in terms of the vision of what we're trying to create. And if we are in a space where happiness is the key and we are focusing on the plan so that we're not burning out our energy, instead we are conserving our energy for those spaces and places that we need it, this is saying focus on the inspiration, focus on the vision of what you're creating. There's no need for you to take action. Don't put the cart before the horse. The eagle gets very clear and streamlined and focused on its prey. It watches for the prey at first, but then when it chooses its prey, it doesn't lose sight of that. That's what I feel the message is here this week is while you're making a plan, don't get caught up in the minutia of trying to do too many things all at once. Just allow your focus to be on the plan. And you don't have to get hyper focused on the plan. It's not about being perfectionistic. It's about being willing to lay all of the cards out on the table, so to speak, with the plan and say, okay, what can I add here? What makes the most sense to bring into this space? I'd love to, to adapt this, but it doesn't seem to really fit with all of these other things that we've done. Maybe that goes for a second plan. So I feel like it's really opening up the energy. I'm seeing Go Aussie. That's so funny. I love that. Opening up your energy to flow differently. Again, it's not a go big or go home. It's that you're opening it up and you're taking what you need to really be in flow with the creative energy, be in flow with what arises. You don't necessarily have to say yes to everything that shows up, but you can definitely consider it. Also with the eagle eye vision, when we're talking about that pairing partnership union, I feel like there's a lot of, I just keep hearing like teamwork, team effort, teamwork. When you are formulating a plan, even though it is, I feel on a more individual level, I feel very much that people this week are going to be reaching out to their sounding boards, to their support systems to talk about some of these ideas, to talk out the plan. I feel like that's a very important message is that you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be by yourself when you're doing this. You can dive in with other people and, other people may give you their opinion and it might not resonate, but then again, it might resonate. And it's okay for you to take what works for you and leave the rest behind. Don't feel guilty if you're involving someone, but then you don't end up using their idea or you don't end up taking their advice. It's enough that you're evaluating what they've said and you're bringing it in for a moment, trying it on for size to see how things are working and how things are flowing. So eagle eye vision, we can remain focused on what we're creating, but we don't have to be hyper focused on what we're creating. The eagle never doubts. Once it sets its sight on the prey, it has no doubt about whether or not it's going to get there. It chooses to get there in its own way and pace. And I feel like that's an important message for us this week as well, especially going back to the phrase of the week, happiness is the key. Well, if you're driving yourself and you're trying to force a vision or force inspiration, or you're burning yourself out, you're burning the candle at both ends, what's going to end up happening is there's no happiness, there's no joy, and then there's no point in doing any of it. That's where the duality of it is. We need to be happy while we are working, happy while we are creating, because that brings about the most creation. That brings out the most joyful, the most successful creations is being in that space of happiness. So don't overdo the work. Don't get caught up and stressed in the work and the doing. This is planning. This is inspiration. And we have to be open to receiving that inspiration. So be open and then take steps based on creating the plan, not on enacting the plan. That comes later. Opening to receiving. I feel like that's really important. All right, we're going to pull a feather from the feather jar. See what the accompanying message is from our dream team. Responsibility. So I'm feeling like this feather, the feather of responsibility is indicating to us that it is each of our responsibilities to ourselves. We need to be responsible for ourselves. We need to be responsible to ourselves. And I feel, again, this is tying into the fact that this week is going to be, even though we are reaching out and team members and, all that kind of stuff, primarily what we're working on is personal stuff. And it's the stuff that only we can do within, right? It's internal. So you've got to be responsible for yourself and your own choices. This also ties in with when you are asking other people for their guidance or their advice, it's understanding that I need to always make the choice that is going to feel the most resonant with me. It's not that it's wrong or bad that I'm asking for your guidance and then not taking it if I really don't feel that it resonates. then again, it might resonate really well. And I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to apply that guidance to my life responsibly. I also want to say this feather really should say accountability, because I feel like that's the energy of this week, and why I feel that emotionally things are a little bit up and down, because you've got a lot of people that are trying to pass the buck. And you want to be in a situation this week where you're saying, I don't want to pass the buck in my life. I want to take responsibility for my choices and my actions, understanding that there is always a consequence, whether that's a good consequence or a not so great consequence. There's a consequence, but I made the choice. I'm accountable for my actions. I'm accountable for what I'm asking help for. I'm accountable for the decisions that I make as a result of what I hear or what I connect with or what I see. A lot of people this week are not going to be in a space of accountability. And I feel that now I'm kind of talking a little bit about the collective. I feel that there is a lot of passing of the buck. And I'm going to say there's a lot of that in the career path as well. You're going to notice it at work. A lot of people passing the buck. Nobody wants to take responsibility. Nobody wants to be in charge of. Nobody wants to have to hold the stick at the end of the day. But we need to do that. We need to be in that space. So decide where you're at. Are you the one that's always taking responsibility for things when you shouldn't? Are you the person that is shirking responsibility, that you're afraid to own something or afraid to commit to something or afraid to be wrong? Maybe you're someone who typically is accountable for all sorts of things, but in this case, you don't want to be accountable for this. What do you need to do to extricate yourself from that situation? Own what you need to own, and then remove yourself from the situation if it's something that you don't want to own any longer. But don't shirk responsibility. And I'm going to say, don't allow other people's choice to shirk their accountability and their responsibility to bleed onto you. It's not necessarily that you have to call people out, but if they're trying to pass the buck onto you and it's not warranted, speak your truth. Speak up for yourself. This is not a time to allow, what's the word, like mistruths, misnomers. It's not a good place to allow anything that isn't the truth to be in the energy field. So be accountable, be responsible, take responsibility only for what is yours to be responsible for. And be aware that other people will not necessarily want to take accountability for their choices and their actions. There's going to be a lot of trying to pass the buck. So just be aware of that. Be in the energy of that. Be observant of that. Happiness is the key, right? So if we are observant of it and we see it happening, the happiness is in speaking our truth and then letting it go. That's where the happiness comes into the mix. All right, Hakeem. It looks like we've got a couple of people in the waiting room. I'm so excited. Who is up first? Indu. Oh, and I just realized, actually, wait, don't connect anyone, because I haven't even chosen my my questions. Oh boy, I told you it was going to be a really interesting reading because I am in the cloud. So let me just go into my happy place and create the questions for our card pull, because it is the grab your decks portion of our show today. So I'm going to devise a couple of questions and I will be right back. All right, got our questions. So the first card pull for you guys today is, what do we need to consider for choosing happiness this week? What do we need to consider for choosing happiness this week? The second card pull question is, what card energy helps us to know what to focus on this week? And that came through with the eagle eye. So I feel like what card energy, what tarot card energy or oracle card energy helps us to know what we're supposed to focus on. So sometimes we can get very scattered, right? We go, oh my God, I'm faced with all of these options and I don't really know which one to direct my focus or my attention to. So let's see what cards come through to help us get that focus. All right, Hakeem, I'm in it to win it now. And bring someone on live. Karen. Hi, Karen. How you doing? I cannot hear you. I think you're muted. Hakeem, is she muted on our end? Okay, keep talking, Karen, because I can't hear you yet, but maybe it's going to just sort of work itself through.
She's working on it. Should be working soon. She's unmuted from our end.
Okay, great. Still not hearing anything. Can you try it without your headphones? Yeah, I'm not hearing it. Oh no. I'm hearing myself now. I got feedback. So Hakeem, maybe from the background you can maybe sort that out, and we can go with Indu and then get Karen back on.
Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Indu. How you doing?
Good, good, good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We've got black screen for you. Are you?
For some reason, my camera is not on. So, oh, hang on.
Oh, there we are. I see you. Awesome.
The mystery of technology today.
Oh, you know what? It is so true. I said to one of my besties the other day, just in the last couple of days, I could swear that we're in another Mercury retrograde, even though we're not, because technology has just been so wonky. I was playing with my my ex-husband and I are still really good friends, and we play this video game called Divinity all the time. And he plays from his house and I play from mine, and we have our little PlayStation thing. And yesterday, I mean, all I did was turn on the machine and it was doing all this weird strobe light flashing. And so I showed him what it was doing. He's like, I've never seen that before. I'm like, of course you haven't, because, it's tech. Of course it's going to work a little weird for me. I mean, that's just the par for the course, right? So yeah, I feel you. And hopefully we're going to be able to get Karen back on as well and get some sound. But yeah, let's pull some cards. First card deck. What do we need to consider for choosing happiness this week?
The card I got was King of Wands.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so you want to consider your power, your mastery in terms of your dreams, goals, and desires. You want to really utilize the energy that your passion gives you. So this is a week, I feel, for you to really tap into what lights your fire. And if you've been struggling to find that for a while, it's time to make that your focus. Because when we go too long in our lives without that fire or passion, everything gets dull, right? Our senses are dulled. And then you ask the question, why am I here? What am I doing all of this for, right? So I feel like for you, this is the week to really connect with your passions. And that is going to be the key to happiness, is reigniting those passions. I'm feeling like for you, you're going to start to connect in some way with another sort of spiritual course. I feel like you're really going to be making a decision to say, I'm going to put some of this 3D stuff to the side for a while. I'm going to just let it be, let it go and let it be. And here's my focus. I really want to connect with myself again. So I'm hearing a lot of that energy for you this week. What's the first thing you noticed on your card?
The kind of a calm, cool, determined feature on the person's face. And
yes, I love that.
Lost in thought, but not lost in. He has his plans. He's thinking of something.
Yeah.
That's what caught me. And there's a little reptile at the bottom of the card. I don't know what that means.
A little what?
A reptile, like a.
Oh, sure. So it looks to me like a little lizard or a little gecko.
Yeah.
So what that's all about is it's longevity. It's the beginning, the never ending, the soul is never ending. So there's always going to be an aspect of reincarnation. There's always an opportunity to be able to do things again, and to be fresh, to understand that no matter what I do in this life, it's not going to have the kind of effect that means that I'm dead. It's like I'm always going to have the opportunity to do something else again, to do more and new. I feel like it's really about rebirth for you. I'm also hearing, actually, this is just random, but because it's the summer months, it's like getting out and really enjoying the heat, enjoying the sun, getting some sun on your skin, getting some of that vitamin D is also going to help to kind of refuel you and to refuel those passions. Again, sun is fire, right? Sun is heat and warmth. So you definitely need to step more into this, into the sun energy rather than the moon energy. That's where you're going this week. Second card pull. What card energy helps us to know what to focus on this week?
Well,
So
my second card pull is from the Oracle deck called Feathers of Wisdom by Stacey Brown.
Yours truly, my little baby. Yeah, what'd you pull?
And I pulled number 10, Master.
Oh, well, oh my God. Okay, so kings are mastery as well. So I want to just point that out, that both of your cards have that energy of mastery. What's the saying on that?
It just says there are no mistakes.
There are no mistakes, right? Okay, so what card energy helps us to know what to focus on? For you, it's focusing on, I can't make a mistake here. It's really that I'm making a choice, and then I'm going to have an experience based on that choice. And what am I learning from that choice and from that experience? And then how do I choose to apply it moving forward? Did I enjoy the experience? Would I do it again? Yes or no? It's not judging or deeming it as a mistake. It's saying it's all an experience. It's all an opportunity to create. It's all an opportunity to learn something new. It's all an opportunity to enhance the soul experience. And that fits in very much, even though it's with the first question, is that choosing happy, right? That happiness is the key. That's the focus, is understanding that. And the lizard, it doesn't matter what I do. I can just be free to do what I want to do, because I'm always going to have the opportunity to do things over or do things again, do things differently if I choose to do that. So let me have the experience that I think I want to have right now and see what comes of it without judgment of myself and my choices. Does that kind of make sense?
It completely makes sense.
Awesome. Awesome.
There's Raghu's hand.
Hi, Raghu. How are you?
Thank you, Stacey.
Absolutely. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.
Sure. You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, let's try it again with Karen. Poor Karen's been waiting. Still no sound, Karen. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't understand. Well, maybe we can just do sort of like a nod or a thumbs up, a yes or a thumbs down, no. Would you like me to pull a card for you? All right. So I'm going to pull one tarot for the first question, and I'm going to pull an oracle for the second question. Sound good? Okay, awesome. So first question, what do you need to consider for choosing your happiness this week, for understanding how happiness is the key for you this week? We got the sun. So the sun is happiness. The sun is also the light of truth. So I feel like for you, you want to consider facing the truth. You want to consider this week, no matter what comes into your path, you want to get to the truth of it. And that means sometimes shining the light of joy, shining the sunlight onto it so that you can get very clear on, okay, how is this working for me? How is this working against me? And through that process, you're able to find the happiness, whether it's, okay, it's not working for me, so I'm going to release it. Oh, relief and happiness. Now I'm creating a space to be able to make more room for that happiness and that joy. Also in this card, in this depiction, I love this. She's kind of in a wheat field, and it's very much like autumn. You know, it's like the autumn time. So harvest. And I feel like that's pretty significant to where you're at right now. I feel like there are two things that you've been working towards that are going to kind of coming full circle this week, where one, you're going to make a decision and you're going to say, okay, this is the decision, and now I'm grateful to have that experience and I'm letting it go. And then there's another one where I feel like it's going to be ongoing, like you're going to the next level or the next stage of it. And what I'm feeling for you with this week is it's taking the time to reflect and be grateful for the work that you've put into it, but also recognizing that it's harvest time. It's time for you to be able to reap the rewards of the work that you've put into it. And that's especially so with the one that I see you needing to just kind of, okay, it's been there and done that. I'm letting it go. I'm taking advantage of what I've created. I'm not going to worry about trying to create it again or trying to hang on to it or make it last longer. It is what it is. I'm enjoying it now. Delicious peach. And now it's done. And I'm creating room for something new. So the sun is coming up for you. I can see you in your reaction. You're like, holy shit balls, this is really making sense. So that's great. I appreciate the, because we have no sound, I appreciate the visual confirmation. What you want to really be considering here is there's a lot at play here around your inner child. And it's the inner child wanting to come up and wanting to have a little more fun, wanting to have a little more time to play and to not have to be so effing constricted in all of the life shit that goes down, right? So this is your week to do that. So stand in the sun, call in the sun, open to the sun. Everything is about the sun, and don't be afraid of the truth. The truth will set you free. As cheesy as that sounds, that's what it is this week for you. The truth will set you free. So be open to that. Be bold and be brave. And anyone who gets in the way of that and tries to tell you that the truth is not the truth, love and light to you. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. I am moving forward. I'm moving on. What card energy helps us to know what to focus on? So what card energy is going to help you to focus? It's that eagle eye vision. Ooh, we got golden orb spider, messenger, balance, awareness, and design. And I'm going to tell you, I just saw the word design, and before I said it, I actually saw redesign. So I'm going to talk about that for a second. I feel like when we're talking about the energy that's going to help you to focus, it's redesigning something that you want to create, but it's not exactly where you want it to be. It's almost there, but not quite. I feel like you want to pay attention to it a little bit in terms of it's a little less about the tweaking and more about the, it's only going to get me so far, but what if I were to rearrange it? And if I rearrange it, how does that shift the motivation? How does that shift the vision, and the longevity of it? Because I feel like it's a longevity thing. You want whatever this is that you're creating, you want this to serve its purpose, and you want it to last as long as you need it to last for. And right now, in the form or the shape that it's in, it's iffy whether or not it's actually going to get you where you're trying to go. So I'm hearing redesign is something you want to focus on. And then the energy of the spider, I'm not even going to use the key words here for now. The energy of the spider is going to help you to focus, because grandmother spider, she weaves her web regardless of the environment around her. So yes, she's weaving it for a home. She's weaving it for food. She's weaving it for protection. And then, the tiger comes mowing on through the forest and tears down the web, the beautiful web that she's created. She doesn't get frustrated about it. She doesn't hem and haw. She doesn't sit and cry about it. She just continues to spin and weave her web. And it's a new creation. So I feel like that's the energy you want to focus on is I'm creating for creation's sake. If something gets torn down or it's half of what it's supposed to be, I'm not going to worry about it because it's just another opportunity for me to create. And that I feel ties into the key to your happiness this week as well, is what is it that I'm creating? Enjoy the process of creating. Don't worry so much about the final outcome. Enjoy the process. I feel like this is going to be the energy that you're in for the next 2 weeks in particular. And then after that, you're going to start to really see the vision and you're going to get more motivation around it. But in the meantime, you have to create for creation's sake. It's not crying over the spilled milk. It's simply just, I just keep swimming. I keep swimming. I keep spinning that web and I'm enjoying the act of creating. That's the big message for you. Love that. Absolutely love that. Yeah. Is that resonating? Is that making sense? Good stuff. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sorry we had technical issues, but I'm in it to win it. We're always going to be able to work it out and work it through. Thanks so much for coming on. I hope to see you again another time. Hakeem, yay! Nice.
Yeah. I wanted to get you to pull 2 cards for me today. Seemed like everything you said definitely resonated with me. So I'm like,
I love it. So are you open to 1 tarot and 1 oracle?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do it. So what do we need to consider for choosing happiness this week? Oh, this one is standing out to me. I love it. For you, it's 3 of Cups, which is collaboration. So what you want to be considering this week when you are choosing happiness, I feel like for you, it's about getting out. It's about having some fun. It's about not worrying so much about the work, not getting so caught up in the doing of things. And I feel like for you, it's just kind of letting the hair down and just kind of going wild a little bit. You haven't done that in a while. You haven't done that in a while with, I want to say, with people that matter. So, and not to be judgy or not to be rude about it, but I feel like that's kind of the energy. So this is a message for you this week when you're trying to connect to that happiness. It's connecting with people that matter, people that make you get in those feels and to feel it fully. I'm also getting for you when I tap into this, that there is an event that you are going to be invited to organize or invited to create. And it may come out of one of these opportunities where you're going out and you're having fun with people that matter. And I want to say it feels like it's a significant event that is going to make someone feel like $1 million. And it could be that you're just, putting together a birthday party for a really good friend, or it can be something even bigger, a celebratory event. Because someone's had some really great luck in their life, or maybe they've not had great luck in their life. And you're saying, let's find a reason to celebrate you, to boost it up. But I feel like you have the ability to, I want to say, use your energy to make people feel really good about themselves. And you're going to have an opportunity this week to plan something. I don't know that you're necessarily doing that event this week, but you're going to be, the opportunity to plan it is going to come up. You're going to get the inspiration for it. And I want to say, step into it. 3 is also the energy of creation. So enjoy, kind of like what Karen's message was. It's enjoy the process of creating. Enjoy the fact that that you can make that much of a difference and an impact in someone's life by putting a smile on their face that lasts a month. And that's a superpower, right? That's a superpower, bringing that joy, bringing that kindness, and, going out of your way to make sure that someone knows that they matter. I feel like that's Very significant. What card energy helps us to know what to focus on? So what you need to focus on this week? White rhinoceros, stability, confidence, steadiness, and abundance. The word that's standing out to me for you right now is confidence. So what card energy helps you to know what to focus on? What brings you the most confidence? That's what you want to put your focus on. Anything where you're feeling a bit self-doubty, anything where you're feeling like, oh, I still have to learn that, or I feel like I'm at level 3, but I really feel like I need to be at level 7 in order to do this justice, put it to the side for a while. Focus on what you feel super confident in right now and step in and do that. Because I feel like ultimately that's what you're kind of dealing with right now in your life. That's the chapter of life that you're in, is building your confidence, getting to that place where you're like, it doesn't matter what other people think or say or do. I know that I'm good at this. I know that this is what I'm contributing. And I have the right to choose how I want to contribute that. It's not about anyone else. It's about me. And I find it interesting when we're talking about the rhinoceros here with the big horn on the nose. Of course, that is a defensive thing, but I feel that also kind of makes me think of unicorn. And so there are aspects of you that you know are different than the average bear or the average rhinoceros. And there's a part of you that judges that and tries to keep that hidden away, because there are certain people in your life that judge you for it. But they judge you for it because they're jealous of it. So I feel like this is a time for you to let that horn shine. And I'm just gonna talk about it as like a unicorn horn, because that's what it feels like. Let that unicorn horn shine. Let that out, because that is what is going to not only build your confidence for you, but it's also what's going to draw others to you, to bring more of that. I want to say more of the need to use that superpower, more of the need to shine your light and to be that light for others. Because ultimately that's what your heart wants. You want to love and be loved, and you want to leave people better off than you found them. And you have a big dream about making such an impact that it's not so much that you're a household name as much as it's, you know, that you've made that much of a difference, but you stop yourself from doing that because of the confidence piece. So this week, open up to that confident space. Be the white rhinoceros. I've never seen a white rhinoceros. So be the unicorn, right? Be the unicorn. Step into that confidence space. That is going to help you with your focus.
Got it. Oh, yeah. Your whole show today was spot on for me. And even though I'm behind the scenes, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get on the camera today because it is definitely spot on. So
I love it. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad to see your face.
I got you. And we have a comment, and we're going with the rest of the show.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you. All right. Try red. Hey, try red. I got the Lovers for the first card and 10 of Cups for the second. Oh my God. Great reading. Okay. So Lovers, this is what we need to consider. So what do you need to consider for choosing happiness this week? I feel like you got the Lovers maybe last week too. So Lovers is all about the reflection, right? How we see ourselves in another, how another sees us, how we are perceived. It's also the mirror. You know, how people are shining a light or shining a mirror, what we're seeing reflected back to ourselves. So choosing happiness this week, I feel, is very much about you paying attention to what you're seeing in others and how it's reflecting back to you. Because it's not so much that what you're reflecting is going to be negative or bad and that you're going to have to choose a whole lot of stuff. But I will say it's going to help you to be very aware of the type of energy that you're actually putting out there. And there's going to be some incongruency. Sometimes you're going to think that you are putting out a particular energy, but how you're feeling, you're thinking that you're doing it and nobody knows how you're feeling on the inside. You feel like you're masking it well, but it's not. It's going to come through. So when you see that reflection, it's kind of making the decision at that time to say, okay, I'm letting the mask down, or I'm letting the guard down. Yeah, I'm having a shitty day. I'm really having a shitty day. And I'm trying to be positive, or I'm trying to be all in. And I just got to be real. As soon as you admit to that, or as soon as you open yourself to that, the reflection shifts and changes. So I feel that that's something important. And I just had that happen recently. I've been going through kind of have an interesting situation going on in my personal life. And I spoke to two individuals who support me in those particular areas, in this particular area. And I noticed right away, I started talking about the story and getting caught up in the story. And my frequency and energy just went whoom. And the one person on the phone was like, let's not go there. Let's just think about this instead. And that's what I do for others. So that was a huge reflection for me to be like, oh shit, I need to practice what I preach. This is not good. So I feel like that's kind of the energy of what you're going to be noticing a little bit this week as well. So just kind of be aware of that. And then the second card was, I think, 10 of Cups or 10 of Pentacles? Oh, there it is. I got it. 10 of Cups. So what card energy helps us to know what to focus on? For you, the 10 of Cups is beautiful. 10 of Cups is complete and total utter satisfaction. There's peace and there's harmony in your emotional state. And it's interesting, we were talking about the emotions today, this week. For you, the card that's going to help you to stay focused, it's looking at the 10 of Cups and understanding this is where I'm going. When all of this other crazy stuff is happening, this is my focus because that's my ultimate goal. That is where I feel happiness. That's where I feel the most alive, the most involved, that I'm making a difference. That is where I'm feeling that I want to be all the time. You know, that's the ideal concept. And I've hit it. I've reached it. So I feel like for you, what you want to be focusing on is that, okay, this is where I'm heading. This is the ultimate goal. This is where I want to be. And I'm going to say to you, you're going to be feeling it at times when that's not actually what's sort of transpiring, but that's the key. The key to that, you know, happiness is the key. It's stepping into that energy of the goal. It's stepping into the energy of that. I've arrived at the ideal. I've arrived at the perfect outcome. I do feel this happiness, this joy, this contentment, this excitement. You want to bring that into your now, even if that's not what you're feeling. And that's how you're going to shift the focus. That's how you're going to bring that eagle vision into your space. So I hope that makes some sense. Thank you so much for, always for coming on the show and for pulling those cards. Great cards for you. I feel it's going to be a challenging week on some levels, but it doesn't have to be as challenging as it appears. It's all in the way that you perceive it and how you choose to respond to what's coming in your space. So the 10 of Cups is the focus. Beautiful. I love that. All right. Who's next? If there's anyone next, I don't even know.
Nope.
Nope, we're good. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. That is our show for today. I just want to let everyone know about my Phoenix Rising event. It is coming up on July 25th, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's recorded. So if it's not a good time for you, it's a Monday. If that's not going to work for you, you can't show up live. You can purchase the event and we will send you the link and the recording of everything so you can watch it at your leisure. It is an amazing time to clear out the clutter from the previous month, to start fresh, and to see what new energies are coming into the mix so that we can be ahead of the transformational curve, because we're always in some form of transformation, right? So being ahead of the transformational curve and seeing what's coming up in our finances, what's coming up in our love life, what's coming up in our personal life, what's going on with our friendships, what's going on with the work, with the career. So would love to see you there. I do a channeling. I answer some questions. Tune in and answer some questions with that. It is a jam-packed hour. Would love to see you there. We're going to have the link in the description below. Sending everyone so much love. Thank you so much for your time, for showing up today, for all of your questions. Sending lots of love. Have the most amazing week, and we'll see you next Monday.